let's get into the messages for whomever it may concern. What are the messages? Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. And thank you for your energy. Ooh. So I pick up on immediately. There's been a bit of an inner battle. This inner battle may be reflecting in your outer world as well. But it seems like, you're tired of the outside. Okay. So I did a channel song last night. One of my guides was walking around my home upset. Okay. So, he wanted some time to create. He has something that he wants to say to whoever, the song may resonate with or whatever. I'll play it after the reading, okay? But to me, it's not too bad. It doesn't feel too bad. It's not as if there's a lot going on to the point to where you can't identify what's yours and what's not. Okay? So that's a good thing. All right, so the Eight of Wands in reverse fell out here. So the ancestors are done doing work. Okay, so the opposition is out, is down. People are being blocked from you. Okay? Somebody tried to sabotage you, or a group of people tried to sabotage you. I think it's one person. And they end up sabotaging themselves, and in sabotaging themselves, they ended up sabotaging others. So, there was some things going on to where individuals were arguing and fighting and pointing the finger at each other. That was the ancestors doing work. Maybe you knew about this, maybe you didn't, it doesn't matter. So if you haven't been paying attention to it externally, if you don't know that things are going on externally, you can feel them, and you can feel what individuals are going through internally. So with you being able to identify what's yours and what's not, you're telling the external, back up. I have boundaries. Okay? You may have been setting boundaries, and individuals was trying to be disrespectful. That's a no-no. That is a no-no. That is a no-no. It's like, I think in a way, they definitely were crashing out. So it kind of goes in stages, right? So the opposition, they come together to put up a plan to try to op up, which is creating some type of illusion. And the thing is that the more numbers that they have, the more believable a situation seems. You know what I mean? But you can be boxed in by a lie. And on the outside of that lie is the truth. Meaning that the ones closest to you can create the strongest illusions for you. You may have a bad experience, and you may want to explore something, and people will tell you, the ones closest to you will tell you, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, this is what's going to happen, this is that. You end up making a move, and maybe it doesn't go in your favor, right? So now everybody is just like, well, we told you this wasn't going to happen, this wasn't going to work, this and that. But the thing is that that's just one experience. I'm a very faithful woman, and I communicate with my guides and God, but I have gone places to where my spirit guides will not go, and I am just fine. And within the experience, there's always a gem or somebody else that I encounter or meet. When you have a very purposeful life, nothing is by coincidence. You'll be able to pick up on what's being manipulated and what is not. So, now because of that one experience that you fell short on, or it wasn't favorable, and everybody's in your ear and in your face, it's kind of like they want you to be scared. They want you to be like them. They want you to be scared. They want you to feel like it's not possible. They want you to feel like you shouldn't try or keep trying. You see what I'm saying? It's an illusion. And it's just that you have multiple things, illusions, things in which that you see. So it's easier to believe. That's why when it comes to faith building, I be trying to help individuals understand it's not always what you see. And even with what you see, you have to learn how to see through. It's levels to sight. You know, people think that they seeing it and they ain't seeing it because a lot of your opposition thought that they was taking you out. That was an illusion. You casting illusions and you don't even, you're so convinced that you're starting to believe your own illusions. You're starting to believe your own lies. So belief is a powerful thing. The conviction within belief is even more powerful because that's kind of like the fuel that drives it. So, the mind is a powerful thing and it's a terrible thing to waste. And belief systems are what I have noticed to be one of the leading causes of bad mental health. Okay. So in the position of your crown, you have the star, magician, devil. This is spell work. This is something heavy. This is something big. Somebody spent their last on this. This is a very big investment. Very, very big investment. You see, somebody thinks that if they do the most to be destructive, this person is self-destructing and they don't even care as long as they can take you down with them. But once again, that is another illusion. You are creating the illusions. You think that you are creating traps with these illusions, but you keep falling into these traps. There's something, doesn't that tell you something? Why every time I try to set this up for this person, it ends up happening to me? Or something ends up exposing me? Why does that keep happening? I mean, with the ancestors, and that's why I say, at this time, you ain't got shit to worry about. You're going to see some weird, crazy shit. Because other motherfuckers don't know what's going on with them. They don't know what's going on with them. People done got their ass whooped. They got the snot beat out of their ass by your spirit guides. And the thing is that they know that. You see, this is all spiritual. But they know, which means that they keep having those realizations that it's over. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to hide. You're not going to get away. The choices and decisions in which that you have made, it's in stone. And you did that. Nobody else did that. You did it to yourself. There's no way out. If you put yourself in, then you are the only one that can get yourself out. That is the truth that they are running away from. And because they do not want to do the work, they are afraid of the things in which that they are experiencing right now. They had such big plans for themselves, but they don't understand that your demise became their obsession. And because it became their obsession, it's like they're so far away from being able to touch, to think, to feel their own dreams, their own ambitions or aspirations coming true or happening for them. So of course, they're going to really try to go for the shit now. They have nothing to lose and they know it. Okay? So there was an angel around you protecting you from what was being done. Okay? So I pick up last night when I was working on the song, I was interrupted by a detective. And before this detective came in, I had noticed back and forward movement. So I had been having visions and dreams of somebody who is locked away. I don't know if they have been kidnapped or I don't know if they are in jail. But it's like I can constantly see people walking back and forth. It's like a dark room. It's a very cold room. And there's a door and you can see people walking back and forth. You can see the shadow of people walking back and forth. I begin to see a silhouette of a man pacing back and forth within the room in which that I was in. Okay? So, I mean, I have no idea. It's definitely giving me something mental here. The whole theme from last night to today is about going within. It is about within, paying attention to self. You have to put your focus on you. And I'm not talking to who this reading is for. I feel like I'm talking to the opposition, but I don't understand why I would be trying to give the opposition advice. Well, that's the start. Because it's never going to happen. And it's kind of like the ditch has been dug so deeply. It's like you need something. Because one thing about when it comes to God and when God intervenes, God is merciful. So God wants you to learn. God wants you to make it. You can't stop the inevitable. But it's kind of like, because you did it to yourself, but it's like God is rooting for you. You know, and God will send you certain seeds. But if you don't know what to do with those seeds, then they're going to go wasted. You know, I almost feel as if it's even cruel to try to give advice because it's pretty much over. Because the brain is just, but that's what I'm saying with God, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So, I mean, well, shit. I know anything is possible with God. But if you will not receive it, then shit, I mean, to me, it's a waste of my time. But if God wants me to speak on it, then I'm going to speak on it. Yeah, so somebody ran into a disappointment. Somebody is being unreasonable. Okay, so whoever the head of your opposition, they don't know who they are. You are a starseed and you know that you are a starseed. So this is what separates the two of you. And this is why opposition is not set up to win, because it is opposing energy. You know who you are, they don't. So that is what gives you your advantage. So the moment that people decide to come up against you, it's already over. It's already over. You don't have to know. You don't have to do anything unless your guides come in and start redirecting you, talking to you and speaking to you. Somebody looks disappointed that what they have been trying to do, this looks like something heavy. This is like a hex or a curse. You know, they're so upset. They're so mad. They want to curse your life with disappointment, sorrow, regret, shame. And it's like, they can't do it. They keep holding, you don't hold the space for that. They're holding the space for that. They're nesting that. They're nurturing that. And the more consistent and the more in which that they do it, I mean, what the fuck do you expect? You're going to get more of that. And that's what they don't understand. And the darker they try to go in dibbling in Pandora's box, well, you know, it doesn't matter how high the higher you go, it gets darker. The deeper you go, it gets darker. So while this person is, I'm talking about, they're digging this ditch. I'm saying this ditch is, you know, it's about to hit to the core. It might not. It's about to hit to the core. And while it's deeply hitting to the core, you are rising high with the stars, high in the sky with the stars. Okay? So, I mean, this person just doesn't know it, you know. Every time they look up is, you know, it's a constant disappointment for them. The greatest disappointment is that you are healed from this terrible shit that they have been trying to do to you, and all the work that they put in, because it's been in vain. It's like, it's humiliating, it's frustrating, it's upsetting, because I guarantee in the beginning it was so funny, you know, and they just knew it was definite. They just knew it was no way out for you, you know, and it made them feel good. They thrived off of this feeling, off of this knowing, not caring about the truth of this situation, the seriousness of it. And now they have to eat that. You wanted to be a clown. It was so funny in the beginning. Now you want somebody to feel sorry for you? No, you did it to yourself. So you're going to have to deal with that. You can't, and they know that. That is the constant truth that they are coming to realize that they cannot run away from. And then it's just like when it comes to you, there's nothing that they can do. There's nothing that they could do. This whole situation was a waste of time. Now they look around and they have nothing. They can't, they got so much heat on them. They got so much drama going on. They cannot focus on anything that is important to them. They cannot focus on their desires. It's like waking up out of a dream, thinking you was living a life, and then you wake up and you somewhere in the fucking slums. That's life changing. somebody keep resisting it, but I think it done hit them now. I think it done hit them, and it hit them just like that. All right. So that's gonna be the messages. So when it comes to you, I believe that this song that we're about to play is for you. But until next time, we'll talk again. Thank you.
Spiritual streets. Yeah, I know you be fucking around. I can hear the wheels in your head spinning around. Once again, entertaining the clown. And here I go once again. Got to put the demon down. Cause I love to see you smile. And we both know that it's been a while. I know why you been slipping. Why you been drifting? Pull your focus in within. Within.